Hey friends, welcome back. Let's talk about the 11 books that I read in June. It was a bit of a mixed bag. First up is The Employees by Olga Ravin. This is a short little sci-fi that is surrounding a ship crew of humans and humanoid creatures. The story is told in short little statements and memos. Almost seems like it's like an interview format. Some of the statements are very, very short. Barely anything on the page, and other times they are longer, maybe like a page or two, but it's a really interesting way to tell the story because we don't really know exactly what's going on almost the whole time. We're following this crew as they find these objects on this planet called New Discovery, and they take these objects into the spacecraft and people become, and the humanoids, the creatures, are all becoming very attached to these objects, and we are left grappling with just like bigger themes of like productivity and like what it means to be alive and what makes us human. And it's very weird, but I had a great time. I think I'm giving it like a 4 out of 5 with much dismay. I read Slug and Other Stories by Megan Milks. This is a collection of queer short stories, which was perfect for Pride Month, and it, man oh man, was a little bit of a chore to finish. I'm not even gonna lie. Out of all of these short stories, which there are many, it's kind of a thick collection. I liked the second one about hair very much. I loved that little short story essay thing. Almost every single other one of them, I just, though I could understand what Megan Milks was like doing, I still didn't like the delivery. I didn't really love the writing the whole time. And I just am happy to be done with it. I don't really want to rate it because I don't want to be mean, but I think I would give it a 2 if I had to. Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is a romance. Our two main characters, male main character is a veterinarian. Female main character is someone who runs like a marketing agency for a mustard company, and it's very funny. They have their little meet cute sort of in the vet where he works. She's bringing in this kitten that has this like birth defect, and basically a situation ensues where she proves him wrong, and they end up going on a first date like a few months later, I think. The first date was so good. It's not really insta love or anything, but their first date was amazing. But little did he know that she is moving away the very next day, like across the country. She is dealing with some really tough things with her family. Her mom has late stage dementia and is requiring the whole family to sort of band together and come live at home and take care of her. And he obviously owns this veterinarian clinic and he can't leave. So they have to do like long distance. It is a lot of emotional turmoil and highs and lows. I really loved it. I actually laughed out loud multiple times. Let me tell you, let me warn you, there is a certain descriptor for a male main character. He is described as Reese from ACOTAR multiple times. Like I'm telling you, like 5 times at least within like 25 pages or so. It is too, I hated it. I was so annoyed about that. Thankfully, after about like 25% of the book, like it's never mentioned again. Like you could read on not worrying about it, but the many times that it's brought up in the beginning took the star off almost, honestly. I understand wanting to maybe throw that in for the book girlies and wanting to sort of bring in the pop culture of, you know, what's hot right now and whatever else. However, fundamentally, I do think that it's a little bit lazy to use that descriptor, especially so many times to describe your male main character. It just really bothered me. But we're gonna move on. I gave it a 4 out of 5. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. Wait, let me just do this because I started a new series on my channel where I have a spinner wheel and I spin to either start or finish book series on my physical TBR. And I'm so excited to continue that series. So the first book that I spun for in that vlog was A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. And since I have a long rating vlog for these books, I'm just going to give you like star ratings and a couple initial thoughts because I would love for you to watch that vlog, but also like I've talked about these books at great lengths in that vlog. So Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is a strong 4 stars. This is like a found family space crew going on this big job. They're tunnelers and they connect like galaxy to galaxy through like physics. I don't know. But the ship that they fly is a tunneling ship and they can do that. I don't know. Stakes are very high for this job. It is like high risk, high reward. And our main characters are all like this found family, multi-creature crew. I loved all of the discussions within this book. It's like very thoughtful and thought-provoking with like social and political issues. The only reason that it's not a 5-star is because in my fantasy and sci-fi, I do love when it gets a little bit like morally gray and a little bit more darker and traumatic even. Not saying that like there aren't hard things in this book because there are, but for me personally, I like when it gets just a little bit darker. So strong 4. I have the rest of the books in the series now because I might want to mood read them sometime. It went well. Next in that vlog, I mood read Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. This is surrounding the situation where an alien invasion takes over Earth and anyone that is inside a building, a roof, even a tent vanishes. Everyone dies, all of those structures vanish, and anyone who is outside are the only people or creatures that have survived. They are then notified that they are to enter these like portal things that are showing up everywhere, to enter into the Earth to participate in an intergalactic game show where it's very much like an RPG Dungeons and Dragons style game. There are creatures, there are quests, there are skills that you're leveling up. It is so much fun and it is told in such an innovative and creative way. Our main character is Carl and he has a sidekick called Princess Donut, who is a cat, and it is lovely. Strong 4 stars. I just didn't get that 5-star feel from it, but I am having a grand old time. Not in that reading vlog, but I did also read the second book in this series last month as well. Also a 4-star. Same exact thing. Love the progression. I'm very excited to see where it's going. I can see how it's bringing so many different like subplots within this game because obviously we have the main plot of our main character trying to get lower into the levels, but also it is like an alien invasion. So there are multiple species of aliens vying for multiple different things in this world, like views and sponsorships even. Like there are a lot of real world things that are being brought into the politics and world building within this world, and it is very interesting. I'm excited to see all of the little A, B, C, D plots that are going to come to head. The last book in that reading vlog I spun for The Empress of Time by Kylee Baker. The first book in this duology is Keeper of Night, and it is telling the tale of our main character Ren, who is half Japanese Shinigami and half British Reaper. Do I understand the exact distinction between the two? Not entirely. What I do know is that Ren has been collecting souls within the like British streets for centuries, and it uses this really cool magic system where they have to have a watch and they can pause time and then they harvest the souls of the person dying, and it's all very cool. But since she's half Shinigami and half British Reaper, she's not like other girls, right? Like she has some deeper things going on, and the British Reapers don't entirely accept her. So she ends up leaving to go to Japan to be a part of the Shinigami, hoping that they would accept her, and they still don't because it is the same situation. So now she is in Japan trying to prove herself to the goddess of death herself, and she ends up having to go on this like insane, impossible quest to eliminate 3 yokai demons. And it's all very dramatic. The world is very atmospheric. Kylee Baker's writing is absolutely stunning. I liked the first one a lot more than I liked this one, unfortunately, though. The first one I read back in 2021, so that's a long time. I gave it 4 stars. In this one, I'm giving a 3. I don't know if maybe I was just a different reader back then, and maybe they were both written very similarly, but this one, I don't remember Ren being as annoying as she was. She was really insufferable to me. I know that it's a YA fantasy, but I just could not stand being in her head. It was very hard and annoying. The saving grace was the setting and the atmosphere. It was beautiful, but I just didn't really love my experience, so I gave it a 3. Next, I read ASL by Jean Thornton. This was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and woof, I'm giving it a 2. This seems like it would be my perfect book. It is queer, it is gaming, it is nostalgic, but it ended up being nothing what I was expecting. This book starts in 1998, and our 3 main characters are building this video game called Saga of the Sorceress together online, but they live in different parts of the country, so like their friendship is purely online. Something happens between them, and 18 years go by before they are reunited in any way, shape, or form. And it's following that before time as well as the after time. Mostly the after time, but we do get flashbacks every now and then. So we're getting a lot of storyline and atmosphere from 2 different time periods, and these 3 characters that are obviously much different people than they were when they were kids. The story is very chaotic, and I think that it's supposed to be. It feels very real, especially to our author. It almost feels like autobiographical. I'm not sure if it has any truth whatsoever, but it did feel like we were just along for the ride and listening to a very personal story, which isn't like a knock on anything because I understand and I appreciate this story. However, it is way too long. It is very overwritten, and I think that you could probably cut at least like 25 if not 40% of it and have a stronger book. I think what I was set up to expect was just much more video game, maybe even like our characters physically being in the game and we're like following them playing on top of creating it, and I don't know, but instead we really just got 3 character studies, which again is not an awful thing if it wasn't so overwritten, in my opinion. So my overall rating is a 2 because my reading experience was just not good. However, it is not a 1 because I do see the merit and I do still like some things. But yeah, it's really upsetting to me, unfortunately. This one, however, was a resounding success. It is Immaculate Conception by Ling Wang. This is about our main character, Enka, who enters art school and becomes very enamored with another attendee named Mathilde. They end up getting very, very close. They form a very strong friendship through shared experiences, through their art, and eventually Mathilde's success becomes so vast that Enka is scared of losing her. It talks a lot on like obsession and infatuation with someone that you love. And the quote for this book is, "What if you could enter the mind of the person you love the most?" And it is so of the time. Ling Wang does this so well. She did it with her last book with Natural Beauty, talking about the beauty industry. And now she's talking about like technology and AI and bringing technology into art. And there's a software in this book called the Scaffold, which allows for 2 brains to be connected almost. And this technology would essentially link them like forever, seemingly. Enka would be able to access Mathilde's memories, mind, creative process, and even help her like heal from the traumatic experiences that she's had in her life. It's all very real feeling. I think Ling Wang is going to be one of my favorite authors, if she's not already. Honestly, she sort of is. Like, this is brilliant. She is an author that I cannot wait to see what comes out next from her, because it is just bound to be just so poignant and well written. This is beautiful. This is at least a 4.5 stars, if not 5 stars. I love when the main character is either like an author, an artist, a writer, and now bringing in this like very of the moment, real sci-fi elements to this very weird like psychological horror book is just so fun and scary and real, and it's so good. Then I also read Wild Dark Shore, finally, by Charlotte McConaughey. This is surrounding a family of 4, Dominique and his 3 children. They live on this island in Antarctica, I believe. They are tasked with keeping this seed bank alive for like end of world purposes. So like if something were to happen, they have these seeds of all of these hundreds of plants and food and things like that. But sea levels are rising and they're going to have to evacuate here pretty soon. And one day a woman washes up on shore. She's in really bad shape and they end up nursing her back to health, but we don't know why she's there. We also don't know why our main character Dominique and his family, like, we don't know why he has such big secrets of his own as well. Every single person is hiding something, and we don't know what the ultimate motives are of every character. It's very like mysterious. It's very quiet and eerie. And the setting of being in Antarctica on this island, it is so stunning. Charlotte McConaughey's writing is beautiful. I'm excited to go into her backlist and see what else. Didn't she write like Where There Were Wolves? Once There Were Wolves? Yeah. I'm gonna go back and read that at some point because this was really, really good. By the end, I was crying. Absolutely. Wow, I'm just now remembering the actual ending. Woof. This was like 4.5 stars, maybe 5 stars. It was really good. I recommend it. The last one that I listened to was All About Love by Bell Hooks. This is a nonfiction that talks about love. Among many other things, my favorite thing was how going about our daily lives, if we all thought about love first and foremost, most, if not all of our problems would be a lot smaller, if not go away almost entirely. It talks about the lack of love in our socio-political systems. It talks about how our relationships with anyone ever should be based on love. It talks about how decisions we make should be, founded in love, and it's really good. I liked it a lot for an audiobook. I'm not an intensely religious person, so there are parts of the book that didn't hit home for me particularly, but that's not to say that I don't still get something from it. It is a nonfiction that I would recommend. I think it's so worthwhile for every single person to read. Since it's nonfiction, I'm not going to be rating it, but it was a good listen. And that's it. Those are all the books that I read. Let me know down below what your favorite book was in the month of June. Or if you don't know what else to say in the comments, then leave me the spaceship emoji. And while you're down there, please do subscribe and like the video. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another. another, and happy reading. See you next time. Bye.